Hey, welcome back to Retire Smarter. This is a series that we put together, made it dedicated to helping you build a retirement, not just a temporary one, but one that lasts. I'm glad you're here. Today's episode is one that I've really got a lot of excitement to create for you. It's one that I believe could be maybe the most important financial conversations that you're going to have, not just this week, not just this year, but maybe in your entire retirement life. What I'm going to talk about today is what I call income streams. And I'm not going to talk about just one. I want to talk about 7 income streams that I think you should have during your retirement years. Seven distinct, deliberate sources of income that they all work together to fund your retirement. Independent, completely, regardless of what the stock market does, regardless of what Congress does with Social Security, or even what happens with inflation. Here's the uncomfortable truth that nobody really talks about. When you're saving for retirement, most people most people spend 30, maybe 40, maybe even longer years focusing entirely on building up a big number in their 401k or their retirement plan. And then they retire. And suddenly they realize they have absolutely no idea how to turn that number into a regular paycheck. They spent decades in accumulating money, in accumulation mode, and now they need to shift gears. They need to switch to what I call distribution mode. And believe me, those are two totally different skill sets. In my experience, retirees who sleep well at night are not necessarily the ones who have the biggest portfolios. They're the ones with the most diversified income during retirement. They have income coming in from multiple directions. And if one source gets disrupted, the market drops, a tenant leaves, a part-time gig ends, they have 5 or 6 more other streams still flowing. By the end of this video, here's what I hope. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what all 7 income streams are, how each one works, and how to build them into your own retirement plan. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, before I dive into these 7 income streams, I want to make sure that you fully understand the problem that we're working on solving here, because the numbers on this slide should be genuinely alarming to anyone planning for retirement. Notice I said should be. 40% of what I understand of the retired Americans rely on Social Security as their only source of retirement income. Not their primary source, their only source. That means nearly half of all retirees in the wealthiest country in the world are living on a single income stream that they have absolutely no control over. And what does that stream look like? It's not pretty. The average Social Security benefit as of 2024 was approximately $1,907 per month. Now it sounds, semi-manageable until you actually put the math to it. That's $22,884 per year before federal taxes, which many retirees don't realize they may even owe on their retirement benefits. Now look at the federal poverty line for a single person. The federal poverty line for a single person is $1,255 per month. That means the average Social Security recipient has a buffer of only $652 every month. Break that down. Roughly $21 per day between them and the federal poverty level. One unexpected medical bill, one major home repair, one car replacement or repair, and that buffer's gone. This is not a hypothetical risk, folks. This is This is the lived reality for millions of American retirees, even right now. And the reason it happens is almost always the same. They built one income stream, they assumed it would be enough, and didn't diversify until it was way too late. The goal of this video is to make sure that never happens to you. 7 income streams means 7 layers of protection for your retirement cash flow. It means no single point of failure. It means financial resilience, and that is worth more in retirement than almost any other asset you could possibly build. So let's start with the foundation. The income stream that almost every American retiree will have in some form, manner, or shape. It's called Social Security. And I want to be clear, Social Security alone, it's not a retirement plan. We established that on the last slide when we were talking about it, but it's an extraordinary financial asset when you understand how to maximize it, yet most people don't know how to maximize it. The single most powerful lever you have with Social Security is the timing of your claim. If you claim at age 62, the earliest possible age, you permanently lock in a benefit that is 25, maybe 30% lower than what you'd receive at your full retirement age of 67, say. And if you wait until you're 70, you receive up to 76% more per month than you would have gotten if you'd retired at 62 and started those benefits. And that happens for the rest of your life. On a $1,500 monthly benefit at age 62, waiting until 70 means receiving approximately $2,640 per month instead. That's $1,140 more every single month, every year, for as long as you live. If you live to 85, that's an additional $194,000 in just your lifetime income, just from making the right claiming age decision. Spousal benefits are another powerful and free. It's powerful, yes, but it's frequently misunderstood. If your spouse earns significantly more than you over their career, you may be entitled to up to 50% of their full retirement benefit, which in a lot of cases will be larger than your own earned benefit. And don't overlook survivor benefits. When one spouse passes, the surviving spouse is entitled to 100% of the higher earner's benefit. This is one of the most important reasons for the higher earning spouse to delay claiming as long as possible, because that higher benefit becomes the income floor, let's call it, for the rest of their life. Social Security also provides some automatic cost of living adjustments, which means your benefit rises with inflation, kinda. In 2023, the cost of living was 8.7%. That kind of automatic inflation protection is extremely valuable and virtually impossible to replicate out in the private investment portfolio area. The break-even analysis is important too. If you claim early at age 62, yes, you receive more payments over your lifetime, but smaller ones. The break-even age, where waiting becomes mathematically superior, is typically between 78 and 82, depending on your specific situation. Now, if your family has a history of longevity, or if you're in excellent health, the case for delaying might be very strong. Use the My Social Security portal at ssa.gov to run your personal numbers before making this irreversible decision. Your second income stream is a guaranteed lifetime income, either through a traditional pension or through a product you purchase yourself called an annuity. If you're lucky, if you're lucky enough to have a defined benefit pension from an employer, common among school teachers and government workers and military veterans and employees of older industrial companies, you have something genuinely valuable. A pension pays you a fixed monthly income for life, regardless of what the stock market does, regardless of how long you live. It's one of the most important, what I believe, one of the most important and powerful retirement income tools in existence. And one of the main reasons that the public sector retirees tend to have more financial security than people out working in the private sector. But think about this. The majority of American workers today, they don't have a pension. If that's you, good. The good news is that you can create your own pension-like income using a single premium immediate annuity. You give an insurance company a large sum of money, let's say $200,000, and in return, they guarantee you a fixed monthly payment for the rest of your life. In 2024, single premium immediate annuity payout rates running approximately 5 to 7% a year, which means a $200,000 investment might generate roughly $1,000 to $1,166 per month for the rest of your life. If your employer offers you the choice between a lump sum pension payout, and monthly payments, don't make that decision without running the numbers carefully. Here's what I suggest. The implied rate of return embedded in that monthly payment option is often between 4, maybe at most 6%. That's a guaranteed return that can be very difficult to beat in any self-managed investment account, especially in periods of market volatility. I think a critical rule here is only annuitize enough to cover your essential monthly expenses alongside your Social Security check. A good target, let's say a good target is 20 to 30% of your total savings. You want guaranteed income to cover your needs and invested assets to cover your wants and provide growth against inflation. I'm going to say that again. You want your guaranteed income to cover your needs and your invested assets to cover your wants. Needs, wants. That's important. One warning. Not all annuities are created equal. Valuable annuities and indexed annuities sold by commission-based advisors many times will carry an extremely high fee, sometimes 2, maybe even up to 3% per year. And they have complex surrender charges, meaning they charge you when you withdraw. Stick with simple, low-fee retirement products and highly rated insurance carriers. And always work with a fee-only fiduciary advisor when evaluating any of these annuity-type products. Income stream number 3, I call these your withdrawals from your portfolio, the systematic process of converting your investment savings into a monthly paycheck. This is the most flexible income source in retirement, but it also requires the most discipline and the most strategic thinking. The starting point is your withdrawal rate. Like we talked about in episode 2 of this series, the traditional 4% rule, it has real limitations, especially in today's environment. With longer retirements, lower bond yields, and higher inflation volatility, most financial planners now recommend a withdrawal rate of only 3, maybe 3.5% for anyone planning a 30, maybe 30 plus year retirement. On 100,000, or let's put it this way, on $1 million portfolio, that means $30,000 to $35,000 per year, or break that down, roughly $2,500, maybe as much as $2,900 per month. The order in which you withdraw from different account types matters enormously from a tax viewpoint. The optimal sequence for most retirees is first draw from taxable brokerage accounts, then from tax-deferred accounts like traditional IRAs or 401ks, and finally maybe from Roth accounts. This sequencing allows your tax advantage and Roth accounts more time to grow, and it gives you more flexibility to manage your own tax bracket year by year. Your required minimum distributions are critical planning in considering your plans. Starting at age 73, the IRS requires you to take minimum withdrawals from your traditional IRA and 401k accounts whether you want it or not. And those withdrawals are taxed as ordinary income. If you have large tax deferred balances and your RMDs at 73, 74, and 75 could push you into a higher tax bracket, those required minimum distributions can trigger surcharges on your Medicare premiums. Scary. Folks, the time to plan for this is now, not when you reach age 72, because the withdrawals start at age 73. The bucket strategy, which we covered in depth in episode 2, that's particularly valuable here. By keeping 1 to 2 years of your living expenses in a cash or a money market fund, your bucket number 1, you create a buffer that prevents you from ever being forced to sell stocks during a market downturn. That's important because this single strategy can add years to the longevity of your portfolio. And Roth conversions, converting portions of your traditional IRA to a Roth IRA during your early retirement years when your income is lower, I do believe is one of the highest leverage tax moves available to a retiree. It reduces your future required minimum withdrawals, creates a tax-free income source in your later years, and it can save you tens of thousands of dollars even in lifetime taxes. Income stream number 4. Let's divide that. Let's call it divided income. This one has a special quality that the others don't have. It pays you without requiring you to sell anything. The concept is simple but powerful. When you own a dividend-paying stock or fund, the companies in your portfolio share some of their profits with you every quarter. And it's deposited directly into your brokerage account, regardless of what the stock price is doing. In a market downturn, your dividend income continues flowing even as your portfolio value temporarily falls. That income stability is psychologically, believe me, psychologically and financially invaluable in your retirement years. The gold standard for dividend investing is dividend aristocrats. Companies in the Standard & Poor's 500 that increase their dividend every single year for at least 25 consecutive years. Those are the dividend aristocrats. These are the businesses like Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola, Realty Income. Companies with durable competitive advantages and the cash flow consistency to reward shareholders through some economic downturns or economic cycles. As of 2024, there are 67 dividend aristocrats. If you prefer instant diversification rather than picking individual stocks, dividend-focused ETFs are excellent solutions. Vanguard High Yield Dividend ETF holds over 400 high dividend stocks and charges an expense ratio of only 0.06%. Schwab U.S. Dividend Equity ETF is another favorite, with a focus on quality dividend growers. These ETFs allow you to own a very diversified dividend portfolio, but doing so with minimal effort and really very little cost. Real estate investment trust, they deserve special mention by law. REITs must distribute at least 90% of their taxable income to shareholders as dividends. This legal requirement means a REIT could offer higher yields than typical stocks, often 4 to 8%, not 48, 4 to 8%, making them excellent income generators in a retirement portfolio. The tax treatment of dividends is another significant advantage. Qualified dividends, which cover most dividends from U.S. stocks held for more than 60 days, are taxed at preferred capital gains rates of 0, 15 or 20%. For many retirees in the 12 or 22% ordinary income bracket, qualified dividends may be taxed at just 15% or maybe even zero. Compare that to the ordinary income rates applied to IRA withdrawals and Social Security, and the tax efficiency of dividend income then becomes clear, very clear. Here's a practical example. $500,000 invested in a diversified dividend portfolio at an average yield of 3% generates $15,000 per year. That's $1,250 per month in tax-efficient income without selling a single share. At a 4% yield, that same $500,000 generates $20,000 annually, $5,000 more. Income stream number 5 is what I call rental income. And this one has been a cornerstone of retirement wealth building, well, for generations, and really for a very good reason. Real estate, it's unique because it's a combination of characteristics that make it exceptionally powerful as a retirement income source. It generates monthly cash flow. It appreciates in value over time. It hedges inflation because rents tend to rise with cost of living, and it offers tax advantages that most other income sources, well, simply don't provide. Let's start with the most straightforward case. A single rental property, let's call it a modest single family home in a mid-tier market that, say it generates $1,800 per month in rent. Maybe it has $300 per month in expenses, taxes, insurance, maintenance reserves, that kind of stuff. So it nets you about $1,500 per month or $18,000 a year. That single property, if you own it outright in retirement, adds nearly $1,500 per month to your income with really, really minimal activity involvement. House hacking, that's a particularly smart strategy for retirees who are considering downsizing. If you own a home with a basement, a separate entrance, a detached garage apartment, or even a spare bedroom, you may be able to generate $800 to $1,500 per month by renting just that space while continuing to live in your own home. The income from renting a portion of your primary residence is often partially or fully excluded from federal taxes under the Augusta rule, and other provisions make it one of the most tax-efficient income strategies available. REITs, which we mentioned in the dividend section, are also relevant here for investors who want real estate income without the responsibility or requirement of being a landlord. Publicly traded REITs give you the exposure to commercial real estate, apartment buildings, industrial warehouses, data centers, healthcare facilities, all of them, without you actually physically owning the property. Short-term rentals through platforms like Airbnb and VRBO can generate significantly higher income than traditional long-term leasing. Oftentimes, in my experience, 2 to 3 times more in markets with strong tourism or business travel. The trade-off is higher management involvement, though property management companies that specializes in short-term rentals, they can handle operations for a fee of 20, maybe 30% of the revenue. Depreciation deduction is one of real estate's most powerful tax benefits. I'm going to say that again. The depreciation deduction is one of real estate's most powerful tax benefits. The IRS allows you to depreciate residential rental property over 27 and a half years, which means you can deduct roughly 3.6% of the property's value every year as a non-cash expense. This reduces your taxable rental income significantly, often to zero, maybe even zero itself, even when you're actually cash flowing positively. Income stream number 6 is one that many retirees overlook. Or let me put it this way, they resist, because it involves continuing to work in some form. But I want to reframe this for you for a minute. Part-time work and consulting in retirement is completely different from your full-time career. If you do it right, it's on your terms, in your area of passion, even at your own pace. And the financial impact on your retirement cash flow could be extraordinary. Think about the math here for a minute. If part-time work or consulting, if it just generated $2,000 per month, an extra $24,000 a year, $24,000 a year, you don't need to withdraw from your investment portfolio. At a 3.5% withdrawal rate, $24,000 per year represents $685,000 in your portfolio value. In other words, earning $2,000 per month from part-time work is the financial equivalent of having an extra $685,000 in your retirement account. That's a staggering number. And it illustrates why even modest earned income in your early retirement years has an enormous impact on your long-term portfolio survival. Encore careers, part-time employment in your field of expertise, say. They're increasingly common and obviously increasingly valued. Employers love experienced workers, especially ones who bring decades of institutional knowledge and professional judgment. Many companies specifically seek retirees for part-time, seasonal, or even project-based roles. Organizations like encore.org, HARP, and retiredbrains.com have job boards specifically for workers over the age of 50. Consulting is where the real income potential lies, though. I want you to think about that. You spent 30 or 40 years developing specialized knowledge in your field. That knowledge has value, tremendous value, to businesses, startups, nonprofits, and even government agencies. Independent consultants with genuine expertise routinely charge $75, even up to $250 an hour, working just 15 hours a week. At $100 per hour, generates $78,000 per year with complete schedule flexibility and really no overhead. Board advisory roles, fractional executive positions, business coaching, speaking engagements, they're all other high-income, low-time commitment options for any retiree. These roles are particularly, what I believe, they're well suited, perfect to retirees because they leverage reputation and relationships rather than requiring full-time presence. I want to recognize one important note here about Social Security. If you claim benefits before your full retirement age of 65, and you earn more than $22,320 per year from work, the Social Security Administration will temporarily reduce your benefits by $1 for every $2 you earn above that limit. However, this is critical, those reductions are not lost. The Social Security Administration recalculates your benefit at full retirement age, and then you receive higher payments going forward. That accounts for the withheld amount. And if you've already reached full retirement age, you can earn any amount without affecting your Social Security benefit. Income stream number 7. It's the newest category on my list. And it's possibly, well, for me, the most exciting because it represents opportunities that simply didn't exist 15 years ago. The digital economy has opened entirely new doors for retirees, and the barrier to entry it's never been lower. Let me start with YouTube, because it's particularly relevant, given that you're watching this channel. YouTube is not just a platform for young content creators. Some of the fastest growing channels in the finance, health, cooking, travel, and hobby niches are all hosted by people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and greater. Advertisers actively seek audiences of retirees because retirees have some disposable income most often. A channel with 10,000 subscribers covering retirement planning, cooking, travel, woodworking, or gardening can generate $500 to maybe even up to $3,000 a month from ad revenue alone, plus the possibility of sponsorships and digital product sales. Online courses are another powerful income vehicle. Think about what you know. Think about what you know here and how valuable it is. Have you spent 30 years in accounting, in nursing, in engineering, in real estate, in education, in medicine? There are thousands of people who want to learn from someone with your experience. And platforms like Teachable, Kajabi, Udemy, they all make it remarkably simple to package your knowledge into a structured course and sell it repeatedly with zero additional effort. A well-crafted online course priced at $97 that sells 20 copies per month generates $23,800 or $280 per year. And that's from work that you only did once. Affiliate marketing, that's another possibility. Affiliate marketing is earning commissions by recommending products you already use and trust. If you write a blog, create YouTube videos, or have a social media following, you can earn meaningful commissions by linking to Amazon products, financial services, health products, or even travel services. Many programs pay 3, even up to 10% commissions, and some pay significantly more. Self-publishing through Amazon's Kindle Direct publishing platform has democratized book publishing entirely. A well-written ebook on a topic you know deeply, retirement planning, a personal memoir, a how-to guide maybe, perhaps even a novel, can generate royalty income indefinitely with no inventory. I mean, just no inventory, no printing costs, and no publisher required. Royalties on Kindle ebooks ranges from 35 to 70% of the sale price. The key message on this income stream, here's what I want you to digest and think about. Start small. Pick one channel and commit to it for no less than 12 months. None of these income streams generate significant revenue overnight. And I want you to know that. But with consistent effort, each one can build into meaningful supplemental income that requires very little active time once you've got everything established and in place. This slide's the payoff for everything we've covered today. And I want you to really sit with these numbers. On the left, we have the single stream retiree, Social Security only, $1,907 per month, $22,884 a year. This is the reality for 40% of the people out there that are retired. And as we discussed at the beginning, it leaves almost no margin for anything that might happen unexpectedly. A health crisis, a major home repair, a family emergency. And the financial cushion is gone. On the right, we have the 7-stream retirement plan. Let's walk through each line here carefully. Social Security at $2,400 per month. That's what you get when you delay claiming to age 67 or beyond. Rather than claiming early at 62, that single decision is worth an extra $493, let's say $500 per month, compared to the average early claimer. An annuity generating $1,100 per month, that's $200,000 in purchase of an annuity that you purchased when you're at age 65. Might pay in a 2024 interest rate environment. It's guaranteed. It's for life. And it requires no management on your part. Your portfolio withdrawals, say maybe of $2,000 per month, representing just a conservative 3% withdrawal rate, but on an $800,000 investment portfolio, not $2 million, $800,000. That's an achievable number for any diligent savers. Dividend income of $800 per month generated by $240,000 invested in a diversified dividend portfolio at an earning rate of only 4%. The stocks continue to grow in value while they pay you dividends quarterly. Rental income, say $1,200 per month, from a single modest rental property owned outright or with a small remaining mortgage. Part-time consulting at $1,500 a month, maybe only 15 to 20 hours a week, and charging at a modestly hourly rate. Doing something you enjoy, that's important, and are generally good at, you're an expert at. An online passive income of $200 a month, very modest. A YouTube channel or affiliate marketing efforts that continue to generate income with minimal ongoing effort. Total $9,200 per month, $110,400 per year. That's not a fantasy number, folks. It's a realistic target. A target for a retiree who builds deliberately across all 7 income streams. And notice that no single stream carries the weight. If the market drops and portfolio withdrawals slow down temporarily, 6 other streams are still flowing. If a rental tenant leaves, 5 other streams cover the gap. That's the power of diversification, applied not just to your investments, but to your entire retirement portfolio, your retirement architecture. Knowing about 7 income streams is one thing, though. Building them's another. So let's talk about a realistic phased action plan that you can actually execute starting right now, starting this week. Phase 1, I call it the assess phase. And it should take you about maybe 30 days. The goal here is to just get clear. The goal is to get clarity. You cannot build a strong income plan without first knowing exactly where you stand. Calculate your monthly expense. Calculate that baseline. Not what you think you spend, but what you actually spend, broken down into essential needs and discretionary wants. Needs, wants. Then list every income source you currently have or could realistically develop. Keyword there is realistically. Finally, do this. Identify your most significant gaps. Where are you most vulnerable? Where could this plan be attacked? What would happen to your financial situation if Social Security was cut by 20%? What if the stock market dropped 40% and stayed down for 3, 4, 5 years? Stress testing your plan in phase 1. Let me tell you what, that will help you prioritize where to focus your energy in the next phase, phase 2. Phase 2 is to build. And this covers your first 12 months. This is where you take concrete action on each, I'm going to say this again, on each of the 7 streams. Optimize your Social Security strategy. Use the My Social Security portal to get your personalized benefit estimates at different claiming ages and run the break-even analysis. If you don't have guaranteed income beyond Social Security, check out other options with fee-only fiduciary advisors for any kind of SPIA option. Set up an automated monthly transfer from your investment account to your checking account to stimulate some sort of retirement paycheck. Open a dedicated dividend-focused account and begin building that income stream systematically. And if you have a consulting opportunity or some sort of digital income idea, commit to launching it in phase 2, in this phase. Now, in phase 3, this is where I want to talk about optimization. Starting in year 2 and continuing indefinitely. Folks, this is where you scale. Where you scale what's working and you improve or you change or you stop what isn't. If your rental income is solid, consider whether or not you need to add another property or maybe converting to short-term rental of some sort might make sense. If consulting is going well, raise your rates and expand your client base. If your YouTube channel or your online course is gaining traction, invest more time there and turn production quality more into it. The compounding effects of optimizing multiple income streams all at once, simultaneously, builds truly what I consider sustainable retirement wealth. Folks, that's a complete framework. The framework for building 7 income streams I think all are valuable during retirement. Let me give you a quick recap before I close this out. Income stream 1, that's your Social Security, your government guaranteed foundation. Optimize it by delaying your claim and fully utilizing spousal and survivor benefits. Income stream number 2 is your pension or your annuity. It's your guaranteed lifetime income that you cannot outlive, either through an employer pension or an annuity that you purchase yourself. Income stream number 3, your portfolio withdrawals, systematic, tax-efficient drawdowns from your 401k, your IRA, and your Roth accounts, using the 3 to 3.5% rule that we talked about earlier. Income stream number 4, dividend income, a portfolio that pays you quarterly cash without requiring you to sell any of your stocks. Build around dividend aristocrats. We talked about those. Dividend ETFs and REITs. Then there's income stream number 5, rental income. Real estate that generates monthly cash flow, appreciates in value, and provides exceptional tax benefits through depreciation and maintenance. Income stream number 6, part-time worker counseling, consulting, coaching, monetizing the expertise you spent decades building on your own terms at your own pace. You can do that now. And then income stream number 7, online and passive business income. I like this one. The digital economy, it's an opportunity that allows you to earn income while you sleep. From work you create only once and you sell over and over and over again. I like that idea. Now, the most important thing you can do right now is download the free 7-stream retirement income checklist. The link is in the description below. It walks you through every stream. It gives you specific action steps for each one and includes worksheets to calculate your own income gap and set targets for each one of those 7 streams. If this video was valuable to you, please hit the like button. It genuinely helps more people find this content and build more secure retirements, a better retirement lifestyle. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss episode 4, which is coming very soon. Episode number 4, I retired at 62 with $400,000. Here's my monthly budget. We're going to walk through a real-world retirement budget in detail and show you exactly how someone makes $400,000 last and how they actually thrive through a 25 and longer retirement. Thank you for being part of the Retire Smarter community. We'll see you in the next one.